Picture this. You walk over to your monstera, and yesterday it looked perfectly fine. Today, you see a leaf slowly draining of its vibrant green, turning soft and pale. The immediate reaction for most of us is panic. We assume the plant is thirsty, and we immediately reach for the watering can. But according to thousands of documented experiences from plant owners, this specific impulse is often the reason a recoverable issue becomes a total loss. A yellowing leaf is an explicit warning sign. It is a highly specific symptom communicating a hidden environmental failure before it is too late. To find the cause, we use a logic tree, starting with a yellow leaf and branching downward. The challenge? Identical symptoms are often triggered by opposed extremes, like a plant completely flooded with water versus one experiencing severe drought. Guessing will only make things worse. To save the plant, we must abandon our assumptions and match the physical traits of the leaf to invisible failures happening in the soil. The very first diagnostic step ignores the color of the leaf entirely. Instead, you need to feel its physical texture. If the leaf feels soft and droopy, or if it has developing brown, mushy edges, the plant is likely suffering from overwatering. This cross-section shows the biological mechanism behind that damage. As rising water fills the soil, it pushes out oxygen bubbles. Roots need oxygen as much as moisture. When soil stays saturated, roots suffocate, turn black, and lose the ability to absorb nutrients. On the other hand, if you touch the leaf and it feels dry and crispy, often curling inward at the edges, the plant is severely underwatered. To confirm either diagnosis before you add any moisture, stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If you feel any dampness beneath the surface, hold off on the watering can. The physical texture of the leaf, combined with the moisture below the surface, provides the evidence of whether your plant is drowning or dying of thirst. If your soil hydration is perfectly balanced, we move down the diagram to the second branch. This section maps out energy deficits, specifically splitting into light and nutrients. Plants need adequate light to produce energy. Without enough of it, a plant is forced to systematically abandon the leaves it can no longer support, causing them to yellow and drop off. The inverse is also true. If a plant is exposed to excessive direct sunlight, the intense exposure causes the leaves to take on a faded, scorched yellow appearance. The other energy crisis comes from soil nutrient depletion. Over time, potting soil loses its essential minerals, which results in a slow, highly gradual yellowing process. You can identify a nutrient deficiency by looking at the location of the yellowing. It almost exclusively attacks the oldest leaves at the base of the stem first. When you know your water levels are correct, that yellow leaf is simply the plant's survival mechanism for rationing a strictly limited food or light supply. The final diagnostic requirement doesn't involve looking at the plant itself, but evaluating its recent timeline and physical environment. If you recently brought the plant home from a nursery or moved it to a new room, it may be experiencing transplant shock. This is a state of sudden environmental stress caused by abrupt changes in light, temperature, or humidity, which triggers rapid leaf yellowing. This stress is a temporary adaptation period. Once the plant acclimates to the new airflow and humidity levels in its spot, the yellowing will stop. It is also possible for a single yellow leaf to appear while the rest of the plant is pushing out fresh, vibrant foliage. Plants naturally shed their oldest foliage to redirect internal energy toward those brand new shoots. Seeing a single yellow leaf in the context of active new growth is evidence of a thriving biological cycle. With the logic diagram fully populated, you can now connect the physical state of the leaf to its environmental cause, whether that is soil moisture, leaf texture, light availability, or recent historical context. Understanding these connections stops the cycle of panicked overcorrection. You shift from reactive guesswork to methodical observation. Keeping your plants alive comes down to correctly interpreting their physical language, rather than simply increasing the amount of attention you give them. To prevent the most common root cause of these issues from ever happening, you'll want to watch our next video, where we break down the exact watering methodology that keeps soil perfectly balanced.